What's going on, guys? Graham Giuseppe Matthews from FanSided Daily DDT and WrestleRant Radio. And ahead of NXT's grand premiere, NXT 2.0 tomorrow night, Tuesday night, USA Network, 8, 7 Central. We got NXT Superstar Franky Monet on the line here today. Franky, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Doing great. And the last time we spoke was just mere months in your NXT run a few months ago. You've been around for, 5, 6 months at this point. How are you feeling?
I know.
It's crazy. I mean, the time has just flown by. How are you feeling so far about your NXT run?
I am feeling amazing about it. I'm just, excited every week to come into work and get to work, know, and we've been doing that day in and day out. And now with NXT 2.0, it's kind of this new evolution and new era coming in. And it just makes us all a little bit more excited as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned it right there, still being excited, coming to work, the Performance Center, being in NXT every single week. Has it sunk in yet that your official label is a WWE NXT Superstar? Like, when does that honeymoon pass, if ever, for you?
It definitely has not passed. I still have moments where I feel like I have to pinch myself, or if I'm speaking to, Shawn Michaels at PC or Triple H, and I'm like, what is going on with what is my life right now? But I mean, that's all just, I worked really, really, really hard for years to get here. So I just appreciated every single moment, and I'm just very grateful. And, I'm here to get to work, and I'm here to show why I deserve to be here and why, I am La Güera Loca, and all my accolades that come before me are just, I'm just here to prove why I need to be here.
For sure. And you mentioned Triple H, you mentioned Shawn Michaels, and all the influential minds that are involved backstage behind the scenes at NXT. Is there any one trainer or, one of those inspiration type things that has really influenced your run so far in NXT that you've gotten the most advice from?
I feel like I talk to everybody because I just really enjoy picking everyone's brain, and I, have this like fountain of information and at my fingertips every day. So I really think I talk to everybody, and everyone's just been super supportive, from the writers to production to Triple H and Shawn Michaels to the coaches to everybody. So I don't think there's specifically one person in particular. I just think it's as a whole. I'm just trying to absorb as much information as I can, and they've just been so giving and understanding and excited for me.
Yeah, and in the last time we spoke, you kind of talked about that evolution from Taya Valkyrie to now Franky Monet. And in the last couple of matches, we've seen you have on NXT TV in that time. Different name, but kind of the same in-ring game as far as like your matches are mostly the same, which is a good thing. Have you really had to see yourself change your in-ring approach and stuff like that, or anything along those lines? Or has it really been mostly the same superstar that you were prior to arriving in WWE?
I feel like I've had just a natural evolution that was expected, that I knew was going to happen anyways, coming into this kind of, amazing facility that is the PC. And also just I'm around for, sports entertainment every single day. So of course my creative juices are just flowing daily. Like John and I are just always talking about new ideas or entrance gear or, the new sequences or aggression or how I want to be seen. And I just, I feel like I definitely wanted to be recognizable. I wanted people to still associate me with who I was before, but then also see a nice evolution and change. And that is who Franky Monet is.
Yeah, and it's come off great so far, and obviously the fans are taken to you inside the CWC. And in the handful of matches you've had so far in NXT, is there any one or two things that you found, all right, this is working so far, I'm totally sticking with this, something you've tried out new? And if there's something that you've done so far in NXT, it's like, maybe this doesn't translate as well, let's kind of move away from this?
Honestly, I can't think anything in particular. I feel like I'm always just playing around with different ideas and things like that. And that's what's so great about the Performance Center, because we are allowed to do that. We have access to rings and coaches every single day. So normally I would test something out, unless it's tried and true, I would test something out prior to being on NXT, but so far everything's been really good. And I'm just, playing around and tweaking things as they come. And hopefully everybody just is really enjoying this as much as I am.
For sure. I mean, at this point, like we said, you're about 5-6 months into your NXT run. Have you gotten used to being called Franky yet? Was that like an immediate thing, or are you still being called Ty in some circles in NXT? So
I feel like everyone calls me like a million different names sometimes. But that's okay, because some people that are here have known me for many, many, many years. Yeah. And some people have worked with me on other programs and different things. So it's kind of just natural. And but now I feel like I am used to Franky. I do respond to her name, and I'm excited to be this kind of different version of myself. And it's just, I'm just having fun, honestly, every single day.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned it right there. It kind of goes along with the new NXT as well. You talked about the evolution of your own character, and we're seeing that now with NXT, this evolution of NXT 2.0, as you mentioned earlier, this coming Tuesday night. Your thoughts on this new NXT? I don't know if you know as much as we do as far as, like, what the heck is supposed to happen tomorrow. We have no clue. Are you as much in the dark as we all are right now?
Well, I can't divulge all the secrets, of course.
Of course.
No, but like, this is just, honestly, this is a really cool new NXT that we're going to see, but it's also going to be very familiar. I think everyone jumps to the conclusion that, we're reinventing the wheel or changing everything drastically. That's not what it's about. This is just about natural progression and change and look. And, we just, maybe NXT needed a little facelift, and that's what this is. And I'm just really excited to be part of it. I'm excited to see the reaction, because some people will love it and some people will hate it, just like everything. Like everything. That's what social media is. But just know that we're all here, trying to put on the best matches. You're still going to have the same superstars that you are familiar with, along with a whole bunch of new faces. There's so many people here who are just trying to be recognized and trying to have that, fighting for that opportunity to perform in front of the WWE universe. So it's going to be an exciting time. Everything's just going to be a little bit different, but I promise you it's going to be great.
And you mentioned those fresh faces. I mean, kind of going off that, are there any top prospects that you've seen at the Performance Center that we haven't seen on NXT TV at all yet, or people that we haven't seen only a little bit so far of on the show that you're like, okay, this person's going to be major star, male, female, doesn't matter, that you think is going to be on the show at some point and is really going to make a major name for themselves?
I definitely think that there's tons. I mean, this place is packed with the number one athletes and sports entertainers in the world. Some who you are familiar with and some that you are not. And there's absolutely people here that I know are going to be massive, absolutely massive stars. I don't want to give off any names because I don't know, how many secrets I could divulge.
Sure.
But everybody here is just working every single day to become better and is devoted to creating the best NXT that we can. And we work really as a team, as a family. And I know you're going to see that again this Tuesday.
Have you gotten a glimpse of what the new CWC is going to look like? We've seen some previews in the commercials on TV airing up to this NXT revamp on Tuesday. Have you seen what the new CWC looks like yet or not yet?
I have, but not completely. I've been also trying to keep it, I want to see it all lit up. I want to see it filled with all of the faces of the WWE universe tomorrow. But I think it looks really awesome. You guys are going to be super excited.
Is it one of those things where it's like, they have trailers come out for movies and some people kind of avoid the trailers because they want to see the whole movie in its entirety without being spoiled? Is that kind of the same thing for you, where you don't want to be spoiled as to what this whole thing looks like?
Yeah, maybe that's a great way of putting it, because I've seen glimpses of it. I'm here at the CWC and the Peace Performance Center every single day. But I just really, really want to get that whole ambiance feeling, the energy, the vibration of all those fans in there screaming and yelling, and the lights and all the drama, because Franky Monet loves some drama.
And I mean, the previous incarnation of NXT, I mean, like you said, it might not be much different as far as the presentation goes, but just the overall look of this new NXT is going to differ a little bit than what people have been used to lately, leading up to this point. And that underground feel of NXT, it obviously has a lot of similarities, I think people would say, to, speaking of underground, Lucha Underground, which you spent some time in a few years ago. Having spent some time in this incarnation of NXT before NXT 2.0, what similarities or, vibes have you felt that have been similar to that Lucha Underground feel from a couple of years ago? Because it was one of the most unique, sports entertainment wrestling atmospheres I think anyone's ever experienced.
Yeah, I just feel like on Lucha Underground, we were all trying so hard. Like, we were just trying to push the envelope, get noticed, trying new different ideas and being as creative as possible. And we had we had dragons and people dying and coming back to life. There was all sorts of stuff going on. But I feel like that natural grittiness and the fact and like just the effort that's being pushed forward is that same energy here at NXT. Like, everybody is here to outperform one another. We're out here just trying to get recognized and find our footing within the WWE universe, and it all starts here at NXT. So I definitely feel like there is that same raw energy that they had at Lucha here for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that same hunger from the stars, like you said, wanted to get noticed.
Yeah, the hunger. That's definitely the good word for it.
No, you described it well as well. So kind of going off that you mentioned, I got to ask, like you said, like the dragons and the people dying, you say it out loud to people that's never seen the show and it sounds ridiculous, but it just works so well. Do you think wrestling, I mean, I don't know if you would describe that as sports entertainment, but it could kind of go hand in hand with that. Do you think wrestling just overall, not just NXT, could benefit from more stuff like that and kind of exploring that over-the-top feel? And I mean, obviously NXT excels in the wrestling area, but more sports entertainment like stuff. Like on Tuesday night, we're getting a wedding, which is kind of very rare for an NXT. Would you like to see more stuff like that?
I love a wrestling wedding. I love a wrestling wedding. Come on. We all know that. I mean, I think there's always room for cinematic moments. Mm-hmm. In professional wrestling and sports entertainment. And I mean, I come from the world of musical theater and acting and dance and stuff. So for me, it's all that added drama and grandeur is always super, super fun. So I definitely think that there's room for it. We've seen it done on, in WrestleMania. We've seen it done on SmackDown, and some having these, especially during the COVID era, where we had to find these different ways of being creative and putting out this product that was entertainment week in and week out. So I definitely think that there's a space within the world of professional wrestling, sports entertainment for the drama and all of the, cinematic stuff.
No, just kind of getting a mixture of that coming out of the COVID era and mixing that with what we were already seeing, I think would be a great combination. And I think the wrestling wedding is going to be a great example of that on Tuesday night. You said yourself you have experience with the wrestling weddings. We saw you in another one about a year ago. I mean, what is it with your involvement with wrestling weddings, and what can we expect on Tuesday night?
I mean, I did not get an invitation to this wedding, so I don't know if I'm going to be there at all.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to be, I mean, it's a wrestling wedding. What do you think is going to happen? And if you have a groom in Dexter Lumis and a bride in Indy Hartwell, and you know that there's going to be twists and turns, and the way will find a way to be present as well. So I'm very excited. Everyone loves the wedding. I love love. So even if I'm watching from the sidelines, I'm definitely going to be enjoying seeing what happens.
100%. It's going to be unpredictable. It's going to be a crazy night of NXT. And, with the whole relaunch of NXT 2.0, you mentioned it earlier, like the feedback, it's going to be positive. It's going to be negative. That's Twitter when it comes to anything in a nutshell. I mean, we spoke last time about, like you said, your name change and the feedback to that, positive, negative. People are going to have their opinion heard no matter what, you suppose. So it depends, regardless of what it is. And when it comes to something like this, what would you say to those that have this sense of trepidation regarding what it could be or what it might be, and how much easier is to keep an open mind when it comes to something like this?
Yeah, I would just say to keep an open mind, honestly. I mean, this is sports entertainment. This is something that some of us have been in love with our entire lives. And just enjoy the moment, enjoy the change. You're allowed to have your opinion on absolutely everything, right? Mm-hmm. But just don't be too quick to judge things. Yeah. Enjoy what is happening in front of you without having a negative attitude about it. Just be positive. I'm sure that everyone's going to love it, and I'm looking forward to Tuesday night.
Yeah, and I think Tuesday also, just, for some people that might be, on the fence about it, we might not see the whole NXT just on night one. It might be rolling out over the course of the next month to kind of find its footing. So, I mean, time will tell. We might not see everything, like you said before, all the surprises and the tricks and whatever with the new NXT on Tuesday night. But unfortunately, we just found out yesterday as we spoke on Sunday, Samoa Joe had to relinquish the NXT Championship due to injury. What was your immediate reaction to that? I mean, obviously, he's been a part of the brand since your return and kind of the role. I mean, actually, for the most part, he only just came back in June. But your thoughts on Samoa Joe having to relinquish the NXT Championship on Sunday?
I mean, obviously, nobody wants to see anybody get injured. That's just like the worst thing that can happen to us as, sports entertainers. Mm-hmm. And so I just hope that he can come back as soon as possible. And I'm really looking forward to see who will be the new champion. Like, this is this is the unknown. So this is definitely going to be something that's very interesting. And I'm excited to see what transpires on Tuesday because, there's so many possibilities. Yeah, a lot of possibilities. We'll probably get a better idea on Tuesday what the future holds for the NXT Championship. But for you, Franky, we've seen the last couple of weeks, months on NXT TV associating yourself with Jesse Kamea, Robert Stone. What's the relationship there? Are they your equals? Are they like your sidekicks? What would you describe your relationship with Jesse and Robert Stone so far in NXT? It's a work in progress. How about that? I'm just feeling it out and seeing what's going on. I think that it's important to always kind of, know my surroundings as well as possible before making any sort of quick moves or judgment. So it will all play out and it will all explain itself very shortly. But I'm enjoying working around them and learning, what kind of people they are. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for us three as a whole.
And it's cool, too, because anywhere you've been, you've always kind of had someone with you or someone to work off of, someone to play off of. Is that kind of a familiar feeling with you going into this new partnership with Robert and Jesse so far in NXT?
I mean, it's great. I've always enjoyed playing off of others, energy, and Rob and Jesse have been doing a great job with that. And so I definitely feel comfortable in this kind of position with a manager or assistant or however you want to, label him. But it has definitely been fun. It definitely feels familiar. And it's just exciting to be doing it, on this platform and, just moving forward, making people, interested in what is NXT and making them discover who Franky Monet is all over again.
Is it possible that we could see more names recruited into this faction, so to speak, going forward? Obviously, without giving away any names, I don't expect any spoilers here. But is it possible that we see this little stable grow in the weeks and months to come?
I mean, you never know, right? I'm never going to say never.
Anything can happen. And there's such a depth right now in NXT, and specifically on the women's side, there's just so much talent right now. I mean, we're seeing it right now, and kind of a similar thing being done with Mandy Rose coming back to NXT. She just recruited Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. Your thoughts on Mandy Rose being back on the brand, and is she kind of direct competition to you right now?
I mean, I don't think anybody is my competition. No, I was excited to see Mandy. I mean, obviously, she's an incredibly talented, wonderful, beautiful person and performer. And to have her down here at NXT has been great. And I mean, I'm very familiar with Gigi Dolan from years before. JC Jane just coming in here. It's a very interesting dynamic, and We'll see what happens. I'm excited to see more women on TV, and I think that's exactly what's happening. And I'm just really, really looking forward to seeing what this new 2.0 is going to bring to us as a whole and as an NXT crew.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you look at any recent episode of NXT, there's usually, on average, around 3 women's matches per show, which is pretty impressive. And they're pretty lengthy matches, too. They're not just 2 minutes. So there's definitely a lot of talent in that division right now. And kind of just going off of that with all the women in the division and how much it's grown over the course of the last couple of months and the matches that you've had, is there any one moment, promo or entrance or whatever it might be, that really clicked for you that was like, okay, I'm no longer Taya Valkyrie. I'm absolutely Franky Monet. Like, this is it for me. Or was it, it could have been your debut. I mean, was there any one moment that really clicked for you so far in NXT, or is it still a feeling out process?
I feel like it's been a slow process, but I definitely feel like that first day when I came out and I faced Raquel Gonzalez in the ring was one of those aha moments for me, just being like, okay, I'm here, it's happening. I'm here. I'm part of WWE. I'm a WWE superstar. My gosh, so It's all been very, very surreal, but it's just been a slow process. But definitely that first day was when I was like, took a deep breath and was like, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah, for sure. And the last couple of questions for you, Franky. I mean, we just saw recently on Raw just a couple of weeks ago, The Miz betraying your husband, John Morrison, on the show. We haven't seen The Miz on Raw since, unfortunately, but any thoughts on potentially coming to John's aid, helping him out on Raw his last couple of matches? Any thoughts and maybe coming to his aid at some point, helping out John on Monday Night Raw? I
mean, I'm very disappointed in The Miz. I now have to have him edited out of all my wedding photos, which is super annoying. But absolutely, if John needs me, I'm there. That's, I'm his wife, I'm his partner, I'm his tag team partner for life, as we like to say. But yeah, if he needs to go back to the drawing board and we figure this out, if we have to, make an appearance at Dancing with the Stars at this rate, come on, Mike. He's got a target on his back whenever he comes back. We'll just say that.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable. And I think people would love to see you guys work together on TV at some point down the road. But probably the most important question, Franky, everyone's been wondering, what's the status of Prince Presley? We haven't seen him on NXT TV recently. Is he coming back anytime soon?
I mean, Presley is in demand, He has so many movie roles that are being, presented to him. He's asking for more and more bacon every time we go to TV. It's a lot. But no, I would love to see Presley. He's doing great. He's at home with his brother Bowie right now. But he's doing great, and hopefully we'll see him again on Tuesdays in NXT 2.0.
Hopefully, people are looking forward to that. People are looking forward to you, Franky, on NXT 2.0 in the weeks to come. It's going to be great. Every Tuesday night, USA Network, 8, 7 Central. Franky, thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.